So what we're talking about here is the end of stress and suffering, because you realize that the stress is not out there in the world, it's the way your brain, the way your mind and brain are processing the world. Just like green is not out there, green is the way your brain processes that leaf on the tree. But there's no actual green out there. So the problem is created in your brain. According to Einstein, a problem cannot be solved at the same level at which it was created. So there are certain, neural connections in which this problem of stress, neural connections in your brain in which this problem of stress exists. So trying to solve the problem with those same neural connections, which is going to be defaultly what your brain wants to do because that's the most comfortable for your brain, isn't going to work. It's only going to add on to the stress, or create a different kind of stress. You're only going around the problem. Now, the thing to do is you're going to have to look somewhere else other than where your problem is created. You're going to have to see your problem as an illusion. You're going to have to go beyond the language in which your problem exists. In a sense, not even acknowledging that you have a problem. Allow your brain to form new neural connections and see your illusion as an illusion. Like, literally see it, and then it will, like, vanish. You just won't have it. You won't have to deal with it anymore because it's not there, and it never was there. It's like this illusion. It looked like it was out there because your brain and your mind made it real because of your certain interpretation. Then you had a neural connection, and then when you sort of see that it's just a neural connection and it's not actually out there, then your illusion would like vanish like that. And it's not like it's going to happen exactly like I say, because nothing that I say is the truth in any way. I'm just pointing at something. I'm pointing at the truth is that beyond language, we don't really know what's out there. We just know that our brain, when we show up and try to figure out what's out there, our brain creates all these interesting problems for us so that we can sort of have our own little stories here. And when you get bored or sick of your story, which can manifest in suffering sometimes. The only thing you can do is see to get rid of it is to go to the place where it doesn't exist. And it doesn't exist. It's not an actual location. It's just seeing that it doesn't exist. And there's no... That itself is beyond language. So... and that's not very satisfactory for me to say. But, if I say, look, there's a tree out there, and that I know that leaf looks green, right? It looks green, but it's not. Now, saying that it's not green and saying why it's not green because of there's different colors and your brain does doing this shit, it doesn't necessarily make you feel any better at all. So there's nothing you can say or do. You can only see that your problems aren't true. Your problems aren't real. So in order to see something, you have to be looking at it. You gotta be looking in the right direction to be looking at the right thing in that direction. And you've got to look at it in a way where, in a perspective where you can see it. And when you see sort of how your problems were created and they exist only in your mind, then you can move on and be totally free from that shit, because it never was there. So that's pretty cool. And again, it's I'm laughing because I know that there's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say that can really make this make sense, because you have to see it for yourself. And there's none of the words that I'm saying are going to ever add up to anything. You're going to have to see through what I'm saying, just like you have to sort of like see through in a way that leaf is not green. The leaf on the tree is not green. You sort of have to see through it. It doesn't necessarily make it look not green. So see, look and see and shit.